Hi, this is Maggie. In this video we're going to talk about events in Pygame. An event is a collection of information that is created in response to a user action, like a mouse click or a key press. The event object, or collection of information, is then placed in an event queue, or list of events. When you write a Pygame program that is event-driven, that means that your program will be structured around a loop that takes events off of the event queue and handles them. Handling an event means changing the state of your program in response to an event. Listing 8.1 from your text is a simple event handling program. Let's focus on the event handling loop. We actually have two loops here down at the bottom of the main function. The first is the game loop with the header while not user quit. This is the loop that you are accustomed to. The program runs until we set user quit, a Boolean variable, to true. We set it to true if the user clicks the close box of the game window, generating a pygame.quit event. We have been handling that event for a while now. So our event loop is this second loop for e in pygame.event.get. The function call pygame.event.get returns the event queue, which is a list of event objects. Remember, the event queue is a list of objects created by Pygame in response to the user taking actions like clicking the close box, or moving the mouse, or typing on the keyboard. This code for e in pygame.event.get means that e takes on each event object in the list one at a time for each iteration of the loop. So E here is an event. Within the loop, we want to check and see what kind of event each of those events is, and then handle the ones that correspond to actions that have meaning in our program. For example, if our program is going to do something in response to mouse clicks, then we will look for either mouse button down or mouse button up events, but we can ignore any sort of keyboard event because we're not handling those. This is the pygame.org event documentation, and on this page you can see a list of the different event types, or the constants that Pygame has defined for the different types of event objects it creates. Within the event, this is stored as type. So you can see in our code, in listing 8.1, we have if e.type is equal to pygame.quit. We are checking the type against one of these constants. And if the event is that type of event, then we're going to handle it. Remember, we handle a quit event by setting the user quit variable to true, which ends the game loop and therefore the program. We're not handling any other events in this program. We're just printing out information about them. This can be really useful because it shows you examples of what information is stored in each type of event object. The different types of events, such as mouse events and keyboard events, have different information stored. This is because different information is relevant. What key was pressed makes sense for a keyboard event, but not a mouse event. The location of the cursor makes sense for a mouse event, but not a key event. So the next 3 lines print out information that is stored in the event. The first line prints the name of the event. We can get the name by passing e.type, which is one of these constants, to pygame.event.eventName, which will map that constant value to a string that we can print out. The next line prints the type. And the final line prints the dict component of the event, which has all of the information specific to that particular event and specific to that particular type of event, such as the key that was pressed or the location of the mouse. Let's run the program, generate some events, and look at what is in them. Okay, so when I first run the program, I haven't done anything yet. And I see these events named video expose, video resize, and active event. The first two, video expose and video resize, are put on the event queue by the set mode function, the one we call when we create a window. The active event is put on the queue when our window gains focus or becomes the active window, the one in front of all the other windows. So we have an active event put on the queue as well, but the active event that is put on the queue indicates that the window does not have focus. You can tell that by the value of gain, which is 0 when the window does not have focus. That means the window is not the active window, or in this case, it is not processing mouse motion events. Notice that if I move the mouse outside of the window, I'm not seeing any events go by. That means pygame isn't putting them in the queue. As soon as we mouse over the window, though, we see a lot of mouse motion events, as well as an active event showing that the window has gained focus. The value of gain is 1. Clicking in the window or in its title bar will also cause it to gain focus. If we minimize it, notice we have a state of 6 and a gain of 0 in our active event, so it has lost focus. But if we bring it back from being minimized, once again we have a gain of 1 as it gains focus. If I click in another window, I have a gain of 0 because our game window has lost focus and the other window has gained it. So that is the active event. You can look at the combination of state and gain to figure out whether your window has focus and also how it might have gained or lost focus. For example, notice that mouse in and mouse out change the focus with a state of 1, but minimizing changes the focus with a state of 6. We can also look at keyboard events. Just so that we've looked at everything we might want to process. The window starts with keyboard focus, which you can check by using pygame.key.getFocused, which will return true if the window is processing key press events. It loses keyboard focus if we click out of the window or minimize the window, and gains it again if we open it or click in it. If the window has focus and I type, you can see key down and key up events. This program is showing us all of the events that are put on the event queue, but if you want to focus on only one type of event, you can always add it to this if statement. We could add an elif event.type equals pygame.active event, referring back to the constants in our pygame documentation, and show the name, type, and dictionary only for active events as we're figuring out how they work. So that is a general overview of what an event is in Pygame and how to look at them. I recommend that you run this program, which is listing 8.1, and generate different events and build a very clear understanding of how user actions result in different events with different dictionary fields and values. You might process only one event type at a time to isolate that kind of event and reduce the output, as the mouse motion events, at least, can make the output difficult to sift through. Think about a game you play and what sort of events you would need to capture and process to respond the way the game responds. Have fun with it.